Matcha, Labubus, Claro, Performative Males. We all know one, we all hate them, but where did they come from? Join me on this journey as I explain the complete history of performative males and answer the question everyone's been asking. Is it bad to be performative? So sit back, relax, and kick off those shoes so I can see those dogs wiggle. You thought that was weird? Okay. That's fine, I get it. I'm not funny, I'll never make a joke again. You hate me. That's okay, let's just start the video. I don't even care. In 1990, a they-them author named Judith Butler published a book called Gender Trouble, which is now recognized as a landmark text in gender theory. Yay. In this book, Judith introduced the concept of gender performativity. The idea that gender is not innate, but constructed through repeated acts, behaviors, and performances. This meant that masculinity and femininity are not fixed traits, but roles that people enact to align with cultural expectations. So basically, boys are boys because boys like blue, and girls are girls because girls like pink, and they can't go the other way because society tells us not to. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, scholars expanded on Butler's theory to discuss performative masculinity. This term referenced to the ways men enact traditional markers of manhood such as toughness, stoicism, and dominance, not necessarily out of authenticity, but to prove their masculinity to others. Men have to go to the gym and eat a lot of meat and then do push-ups when they get home and take cold showers because that's manly. And if you don't do that, you're not a man and you're actually kinda gay. So surprisingly enough, the first example of performative males were actually buff tough guys. Not twinkish white boys like me who wear tote bags and drink Labubus and eat Claro while listening to Matcha. So they were actually pretty cool. In the early 2000s, the figure of the metrosexual became widely recognized. Coined by journalist Mark Simpson in 1994, the term referred to men who were professional and fashion conscious. For example, Harry Styles, Timothée Chalamet, Liam Ryan. All celebrities that are very attractive and loved by millions. The metrosexual represented a shift. Wait. We gotta go back. My name is Liam Ryan. That was a joke. If you don't know my name, that joke made no sense. But yeah, my name is Liam Ryan. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's keep going. The metrosexual represented a shift in male identity. Men could embrace fashion, skincare, and culture without being perceived as weak or unmasculine. At the same time, critics argued that this was still a form of performance, adopting behaviors and aesthetics not necessarily for personal fulfillment, but to signal sophistication, social status, and cultural awareness. This marked a transition from traditional stoic masculinity towards a more curated, visible, and socially mediated form of male identity. Instead of philosophical men who actually contribute to society, we now have 120-pound white boys who spend 2 hours trying to figure out what song to use for their Instagram story. I'm 120-pound white boy. I do that. By the 2010s, social media, online dating apps, and indie culture gave rise to the softboy archetype. Softboys were often characterized as emotionally expressive, artsy, or progressive men who use literary references, curated playlists, or intellectual hobbies as part of their identity. They were presented as more emotionally aware and feminist than traditional masculine archetypes, signaling traits like sensitivity, vulnerability, and thoughtfulness. Some identifiers of softboys include, but are not limited to, jean jackets, cuff pants, black Vans, houseplants, and a love for photography. In other words, they're completely insufferable people. However, the internet eventually began critiquing the softboy as a potentially manipulative performance. While some genuinely embodied these traits, others adopted them strategically to gain romantic attention or social approval. This period also coincided with the rise of conversations around virtue signaling and woke culture. Men were sometimes accused of performing progressive beliefs for visibility, likes, or social status rather than authentic conviction. In other words, being a complete loser on social media. The overlap of softboy aesthetics and virtue signaling highlighted a broader cultural anxiety around authenticity and performance in social identity. By 2025, the performative male became a viral meme, especially on TikTok, Instagram, and I was gonna say the name of that platform, but when the word started to come out of my mouth, I felt like a guttural reaction to it. I just have such a strong distaste for the guy behind it. Anyways, let's just keep going. You know what I'm talking about. The meme was characterized by highly curated, artsy, and progressive aesthetics. Drinking matcha, carrying tote bags, reading feminist literature, listening to artists like Biba Doobie and Claro, and even collecting these fuck-ass toys named Labubus. The meme emphasizes the performative nature of these behaviors, suggesting that some men adopt them less out of genuine interest and more as a curated identity intended to appeal to women or signal progressiveness. Media outlets analyzed the performative male as a cultural phenomenon. The Guardian and Teen Vogue framed it as a critique of consumer aesthetics, signaling, and the commodification of identity. Critics noted that while the meme satirized shallow performances of progressiveness, it also risked discouraging men from engaging sincerely with feminist or progressive values, or from expressing emotional vulnerability at all. I genuinely just tweak the fuck out. I'm sorry. I keep stuttering at it. I can't help myself. Emotional vulnerability. The critics were suggesting that this meme is putting men's emotions on the chopping block, which in my opinion is complete bullshit. The history of the performative male reveals a recurring tension between authenticity and performance. From Butler's theory of gender performativity and onward, scholars have argued that all gender expression is in some sense performed. Every style choice, habit, or behavior that signals masculinity is shaped by cultural expectations, whether it feels authentic or not. The Metrosexuals of the 2000s, the Softboys of the 2010s, and the Performative Males of 2025 all highlight how men have adapted their identities in response to shifting cultural values. So now to answer the question that I posed right at the start of the video as a secondary hook to keep you watching till the end. Is being performative bad? In my opinion, no. Am I partially biased because I'm a performative male myself? Yes. Although the meme is one of my favorite from this year, I do think that it could be harmful in boxing men in. I think regardless of authenticity, men should be able to express themselves however they want. Now there is one exception for this rule. Ow, I hit my head. There's one exception for this rule: manipulative men. I think we should burn all I can't say this shit seriously, bro. I think we need to take that 24 karat gold Dubai chocolate ice labubu matcha latte Claro biba doobie latte, or shove it right up that evil twink's ass. Have him pick up some feminist literature. I don't care. Do some studying. However, there is a difference between performative men and manipulative men. They're two completely different things. It really just comes down to intention. That's what determines if you are doing something good or bad. So ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to sip your matcha, wear your tote bags, listen to Claro, and eat your labubus. I really don't care. Because at the end of the day, your identity is your own, and you should be able to make your own decisions, even if you are a 120-pound white boy like myself.